for Nintendo, they looked to Wario to strike gold. But did he really strike gold with his new 3DS game? Well, unfortunately, it's kind of a mixed bag. Yes, Nintendo's newest game for the 3DS, WarioWare Gold, did not do so well in Japan, unfortunately. Nope. Unfortunately, WarioWare Gold came in third on the top 10 chart for the Media Creates sale charts in Japan. Unfortunately, it did not take the number one spot, which oddly enough went to another 3DS game. So it just shows that Wario did not really strike gold, but Nintendo surely did. If you look at the top 10 chart, you can see that only one game is not a Nintendo game on the top 10 charts, where almost 7 out of the 10 are for the Switch, and 2 out of 10 are for the 3DS, and just one lonely game, and it's a brand new game, is for the PS4. So it just shows you that Nintendo has Japan on lockdown. That is correct. So let's take a look at the top 10 chart here. At number 1, we got 3DS Entrant Odyssey X, which is an RPG from Atlas. It sold 71,946, which is very, very good for that game. I've never heard of it, so congratulations to this game. At number 2, debuting this week as well, we have Nintendo Switch Pro Baseball Fantasy Evolution from Bandai Namco. Sold 42,846, which is really good for a baseball game for the Switch. We'll see if this might trickle down to the western side of the hemisphere. But Japan really loves their baseball. And then at number 3 comes WarioWare Gold at 31,018 units sold, which is pretty sad for the game, I think. I think it definitely needed to debut at number 1 or 2, and unfortunately came at number 3, and that number is not that great, unfortunately. So Wario himself didn't strike gold, but if you look at the rest of the top 10 list for Nintendo, they really did well. At number 4, falling down 2 spots, is Taiko no Drum. I probably mispronounced that name so badly. I hope you all can forgive me for that, but that has sold 21,642. Overall, it is now at almost 120,000. At number 5, falling down 2 spots, is Splatoon 2, which is at 2.5 million copies sold. That game will forever be on the top 10 chart. That will not go. And there's Octopath Traveler still in the top 10, and actually rising 2 spots from number 8 to number 6, which is kind of unusual for a game, but that's because of the physical shortages. Remember, these are physical copies and not digital games. So maybe WarioWare did do well, but as a physical copy, didn't do really well. But Octopath is doing really well. It's almost sold 18,448 copies, with now at almost 165,000, which is very, very well for that game. This game is already a million copy seller, and I expect a sequel to be in the works shortly. Number 7, staying at number 7, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, almost at 1.7 million copies sold, just in Japan, by the way. This is just Japan numbers, so that's pretty cool. Mario Tennis Aces, falling down 4 spots, at 280,000 units sold. Pretty good for Mario Tennis Aces, still in the top 10. Again, I remember it was released in June, so that's pretty well. Minecraft, still in the top 10. For the Switch, it fell down 3 spots to number 9. I'm expecting that to be out of the top 10 probably next week. And then, but that sold almost 170,000 copies just in Japan. I'm assuming this was a more digital download than a physical copy, but even for the physical copy, it still does well. And the lonely PS4 game is Saga Scarlet Grace, which is an RPG from Square Enix, at 14,971,000. So that was the only non-Nintendo game to make it in the top 10. So that just, again, shows Nintendo has a stronghold in the Japan market. So when they release games that, or even Smash characters, because, there was a direct this week for Smash, they focus on Japan gaming franchise, not really Western game franchise, because Nintendo holds the Japan market, as we'll see with the hardware sales. Moving on to the hardware sales, Nintendo Switch is up 2,000. units from last week. It's certainly almost sold 3,000 more. It's currently sitting at 50,799. This is typical for the Switch at this point. About 50,000 every week. This is just Japan. The PS4 sold 19,002 units. That week. 3DS again 12,586. The Vita still pushing with 3,339, and poor Xbox One from last week. It sold 365, but this week it sold 74 units, which is so sad. I feel so bad for it. Microsoft needs to get more Eastern developers in their system, because otherwise the Xbox will never make it in Japan. And as you see, the Switch is just dominating. It is crazy. Like, even it is down compared to last year, but you also gotta remember Rabbids just came out for the Switch in August. Splatoon just came out. So there was a craze for the Switch at that point, and it's really not that far down from the. It's only about 11,000. I mean, if you look at where the PS4 was last year as well, it's not doing well either. I mean, it's down 40,000. So overall, all those consoles seem to be down compared to where they were last year. But overall, it just seems like the Nintendo Switch is just dominating. As you see, their lifetime dates for the Switch is almost at 4.8 just in Japan. I expect that to be at 5 million by the time October rolls around. Yeah, I'm gonna say by October it's gonna be 5 million, and then when Pokemon comes out, it's anyone's guess, because Pokemon's gonna sell like crazy. I expect probably either next week or the week after, the PS4 will hit 7 million copies or units sold in Japan. And as you see, this 3DS is still selling pretty well, almost at 24.2 million copies or units sold. PS Vita probably is going to take a little bit longer to get to the 6 million. Let's see if it can do that. I definitely think the Switch will pass the Vita before the Vita gets to 6 million, which is pretty sad. But yeah, that is the week of, sales in Japan. Overall, Wario did not strike gold, but I think it was a big week for Nintendo overall, with the Nintendo Direct being very successful. And if you haven't seen that, please watch my reaction vid to it. I'll put it in the cards, but also have a link to the description below. So it's going to be super exciting. No upcoming games for the Switch right now. We'll see Okami. We'll see how that did. That was just recently released, so we'll see how that did on the Switch. Overcooked 2 is also something that was just, but I think that's a digital only. So we'll definitely see how these games are doing. Nintendo's doing well. We'll see how it goes and see if anyone else can compete with it. Spider-Man's coming out soon. Tomb Raider's coming out soon. So September and October is going to be a busy month. So August will be a slow month, but everything will be picking up soon in September. So what do you guys think of this top 10 list? What do you think of the hardware sales? Are you surprised that WarioWare Gold did not make the top spot? Or were you expecting it to fail? Please let me know in the comments below, and follow me on Twitter. My Twitter tag is now there underneath Gaming Math at Temple of Games. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Catch you later, guys. Bye.